Hello, I'm Dr. Josie Valderrama, a clinical psychologist in San Francisco, California. Much of my in-depth training was with Dr. Stephen Gilligan, who himself was a student of Milton Erickson, considered a pioneer in medical hypnotherapy. Those of us within the newer generations have moved beyond top-down, script-based hypnotherapy into mutualistic trance states, where the consciousness, the content within the consciousness of the client, their subconscious in particular, becomes the material with which we work with, rather than a prepared script that is overlaid as an agenda on the experience. And this is what I primarily learned from Dr. Stephen Gilligan as well. I'm also trained in entheogenic work as a psychonaut myself, but really it's about natural tripping, and other clients describe it as sort of dreaming while awake. These types of experiential sessions that are trance-based, that are my forte, in addition to talk therapy. So let's talk a bit about that process. It utilizes paradox. It utilizes the both-and state, such as the quantum metaphor. And it's no coincidence that we find this across so many wisdom traditions. The third way, the Tao, the yin and the yang, making the Tao, right? I really vibe with the Hegelian model, the German philosopher. So thesis, antithesis, synthesis. So we're born into a mold, then we rebel out of that mold, and many people stay within this sort of war of polarity, the two sides of the force or what have you. When we transcend and go into the paradigm shift out of the polarity into the everything all at once, into synthesis, we're taking the best from the prior phases, leaving the rest, and making ourselves in our own image, intentionally, mindfully, based upon our values. And so I also have a background in acceptance and commitment therapy, mindfulness-based values exploration. Now, let's move aside from education into the actual experiencing. Taking a nice deep breath to release, longer on the exhale, and just allowing yourself to feel into your body sense, whether you are sitting or standing or moving. Just noticing the breath, information from the senses, and also mental impressions coming and going, waves of emotion, and where you feel them in the body, how you feel them. And if you find yourself getting caught up in any story or thought, just circling back to the breath, to that gentle rise and fall, or whatever you are noticing what you are noticing, and letting go, coming back to this moment again and again, each moment different from the last, from the next, each moment your point of power, here and now. So let us begin to shift into an experiential state. First, by allowing the mind to consider what is the trance state, a natural shift in brain waves that we experience all the time automatically, such as when you're driving and you forget how you got to your destination. Or you're watching a movie and you're so engrossed you forget you're not directly experiencing it, like a dream. We often go into these states unconsciously, cued by various external factors, media, and such. But we can also intentionally invoke these states in order to have more power, more mastery over our own systems and how they interact with the outer world. So now, closing the eyes if that's comfortable, or just allowing the lids to get heavy, as you begin to imagine a pebble spiraling down from the body of water all the way to the bottom. And on the surface of that body of water, ripples extending outward in every direction. And that pebble, as it's spiraling down, settling down, settling in to the very bottom, a sense of grounding and stability and expansion at the same time, and also a sense of your boundary, like a second skin all around you, encompassing, protecting, and extending your awareness, only allowing in that which is for your highest good. And you may sense different parts within your system, or you may simply be following along to the sound of my voice as I talk to you. As you continue to breathe in that way, allowing a sense of relaxation, if that is what is meant to occur, or just observing whatever is here and now, encompassing all that is within your overarching awareness. That's right. Mind and body, energy and heart, as you continue to breathe in that way. And now I invite you to consider a sense of yearning within you, allowing the mind to settle onto whatever is here, arising or dropping in as I say those words, yearning. How do you experience it in your body, your nervous system, your breath? Is there a color, texture, weight, temperature? Is there movement, light, sound? What's around or underneath as you encompass this energy of yearning with your overarching awareness? Just noticing how that feels, sounds, looks like through the senses, inner and outer. Now quite naturally, You may also sense the presence of what you may consider an opposing energy, that which may be perceived as an obstacle or feeling in the way of the yearning. And just noticing that energy, encompassing that energy with your overarching awareness. How does it feel in the body? Where do you feel it? Is there a color, texture, visceral impression, memory, light, sound, movement, pressure? What's there or around or underneath? Just noticing, and with a sense of curiosity, if that feels right, a sense of invitation to explore with your overarching awareness. Now encompassing both of these energies at the same time with your overarching awareness, perhaps like the infinity symbol shape, the 8 turned on its side, encompassing both of these energies and noticing, is there an interaction, one to the other, within your system? Is there a dynamic and exchange and interplay, a dance or a conversation, a song played with different instruments? Feeling into both of these energies and how they interact or coexist. Using your breath to guide you in this process, both at the same time. You are the yearning. You are the perceived obstacle. You are both at the same time, and so much more than the sum of these or any parts. Isn't that nice to know? Both at the same time. And so much more. You don't have to choose between one or the other. Isn't that nice to know? You are both at the same time, and so much more. Just feeling into this sense of exploration and noticing what's coming up within your internal landscape. Visceral sensory impressions, visuals or felt sense, impressions along the periphery, just breathing with, and noticing the you that is sitting here and now, forming this memory during this exercise, can float out of the you engaged in this exercise and look at yourself And you can float them out up above your timeline, all the way to the beginning, back to the source, through every memory with a healing light, reprocessing every memory. And sometimes those memories may start with anxiety, something you were afraid of, or anger, something that upset you, or maybe pleasure, and then it might have shifted into another state. And you can preserve the learnings while leaving the rest behind, moving like a zipper through every memory. And it's almost as if each scene from your life were on a different screen in a giant control room. And you can fast forward and rewind, and fast forward and rewind. And you might find yourself settling into a particular scene and looking out at it, almost as if it were a movie, noticing what you're noticing, what's happening. And you can go into your body from that scene and look out from that you's eyes and notice what you're noticing, thinking, feeling. And then you can float up out of that scene, out of your timeline, way out into the sky, out into the atmosphere, out off the planet, into outer space, further out until you no longer feel those feelings. And then you can zip back into that scene, look out with your eyes again from that memory, and notice what you notice as shifts happen now. And you can do that instantly with every memory. You don't even have to know how. Consciously, it is being done by your unconscious wisdom. And you can even go to the other side of this process, to future you. On the other side of this process, feeling at peace, clear, grounded, secure. And notice how that feels in your body, the ease, the contentment, the knowing and trust. And you can borrow from future you here and now and feel that in your body, nervous system, posture, breath, felt sense. And you can know that this process can continue even after this exercise on both unconscious and conscious levels. And you don't have to know exactly how or when those changes will occur, but you can be curious to find out just what that will look like, or sound like, or feel like, or taste like, as you ground in your body now and bring your energy back in from the field, sealing it in to your own luminous, radiant boundary. Feeling grounded and reinvigorated and ready to continue on with your day.